Alright folks, welcome back to Let's Play My Mind Forever Voyaging, whatever it's actually called. Sorry folks. I'm the Mysterious JG. Since the last time I recorded this, minor changes here. You can look at some of the games that are up as possible LP adventures in the universe. At least one person who is not Bobo seemed interested in an LP of Starflight. So I've already kind of got that in the works, but I figure that is going to be an epic, long LP. And when I say epic, I mean in the sense of being long, not necessarily one that I think is going to have a wide group of people who will be interested in it. People who are my age will probably... Anybody who remembers it from when they were a kid will probably be blown away because it's an almost forgotten game that I think doesn't deserve that fate. Younger viewers might just be vaguely interested in what computer games are like really early in the days of commercially available computer games. But in general, I'm not expecting a huge reaction to that one, so I'm kind of thinking I'm going to enjoy it, damn it, and I hope other people will enjoy it, but it's going to be really long, and I probably don't want to have that going simultaneously with Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Because those are both really long, involved, long-term kind of project LPs. So probably when RTK is done, Starflight might pop up, and I would expect a small fraction of the people who watch RTK to watch Starflight, but I'm cool with that. Bobo, at least, will probably be vaguely excited to see Ancient Art of War and Ancient Art of War at Sea, although I would really have to tweak some settings before I could get it to work well. It definitely loads and plays, but it's runs too fast, basically. I don't know. Why am I doing this? This is A Mind Forever Voyaging. People are tuning in to see this LP, so let's get back to it. I'll just briefly say that the Lurking Horror and Planetfall are both here, but when I tried to run them, I found out what I found on the interwebs is something that will run in... I don't remember what it was called. Frotz or something. There's like, and Frotz is a term from like the Zork Enchanter kind of universe. It's some kind of program that was actually made to run Infocom games specifically, and I think Frotz is available for free, but I couldn't get it to run on my operating system because I think even though it was made many years after the Infocom games had all basically, they're not really technically abandoned. But also the company that owns the rights to them is not making them commercially available either. So people went out and made a program called Frotz you could play them on, but that happened long enough ago that my current OS can't support it. So there might be ways around it. I can actually run them fine on DOSBox, but I thought I had the actual DOS executables to play. But for Lurking Horror and Planetfall, I don't. I've got some kind of file that's meant for that Frotz thing. Anybody knows the answer to how to get that to work, let me know. And in the meantime, I've got to go hunting around again for versions of Planetfall and Lurking Horror that I could actually play. There's other games I have that I didn't bother to load up to defend, but I think I'll have the same problems with most of them. But A Mind Forever Voyaging is not one of those, so that one we can play, and we should return to now. When last you joined us, our recording buffer was full, but we are in 2061. We saw some stuff. Let's get out of here. I didn't actually rewatch the last video in its entirety, so I'm not 100%. I don't have 100% recall of what we saw. I remember the university is completely abandoned. We watched some students getting arrested in 2051 and 2061. The university is empty, and the big thing I remember, the heart-crushing thing, although we never really meet your child. I don't even remember his name. But Jill, I think, is your wife's name, isn't it? Jill is not doing too good. Well, I mean, Jill's a painter, which is kind of a... I don't know that many painters who are also arch-conservatives. I'm sure there are some out there. But she seems like a pretty liberal sort of person, and she is into painting. And your son has gone off and joined a very conservative religious cult who will not allow its members to talk to outsiders. So he can no longer... He apparently, as he was leaving, said he couldn't talk to either of his parents anymore unless they joined the church. So that's not happy for his parents, who don't seem likely to join the church. And I don't know if the church members are smart enough or even care if people join their church just so that they can talk to their children who've joined the church, because certainly we could join that church, but who would want to? I mean, I could type in join church. I don't know the word join. Yeah, I don't think the game is going to give us an option of going to the church and joining it. And although it might be interesting to try, we should do so once we've cleared our recording buffer. So let's exit simulation. Let's key off? Is that the... Yeah. This is the office of your creator, Dr. Abraham Perlman. I actually remembered the abbreviation that gets us into his office. It is cluttered and disorganized. Overstuffed bookshelves line the room. Perlman's desk is covered with a number of items, including the stuff that came in the game package in real life. Dr. Perlman walks into the office carrying a pile of pink message slips. He scans them, drops all but one into a basket on his desk, picks up the phone receiver, and presses 2 or 3 buttons. Your sensitive audio pickup hears a few rings, a click, and then a young woman's voice. This is Esther Perlman. Can't come to the phone now. Please leave a message, though. Pause. Beep. Perlman speaks into the phone. Hi, it's Dad. I got your message, but I can't make it. I'm too tied up with the project. I'll probably be in the office all evening if you want to talk. Aw. Ask Perlman about Esther. Esther is my daughter, my only child, a sweeter and more loving child no man could ask for. That seems like a kind of rigid, formal response. A PRISM project staff member dashes in and hands Perlman a note before leaving. Glancing at the note, Perlman walks to the point beyond your field of vision. A moment later, you hear a click as of a switch being turned. A message begins coming over the message line. PRISM! Hey, Perlman, we have just one more quick series of psych tests we want to run. Please come to my office in about 10 minutes. Perlman returns to view for a moment as he leaves the room. No, I needed to talk to him! List locations... Maybe he's going to the Project Control Center. No. Or he's not here yet. A message begins coming over the message line. Perlman to PRISM, private line, no storage. Please activate the comm outlet in my office. Dr. Grimwald has some psych tests. Fine, let's take the psych test. Standing behind Perlman is Dr. Ernest Grimwald, who is like an evil sorcerer that Dumbledore used to hang out with. Or no, that was somebody else. Maybe that Grimwald was the prison. I don't know. A spectacled man with a dark, closely trimmed beard. He looks so much like the classic stereotype of a psychiatrist that you could almost chuckle out loud, except you're a computer. You experience a strange sensation, which you eventually recognize as an attempt to prevent your non-existent mouth from turning up at the sides. Perlman spots the active light on your communication unit come on. Ah, here you are, PRISM. You remember Dr. Ernest Grimwald. You recognize and greet the psychiatrist who gave you a series of psych tests a few days ago. It's a pleasure to see you again, says Grimwald in an accent that matches his appearance perfectly. This should take only a couple of minutes. I'm going to show you some patterns, and I simply want you to tell me the single word that comes to mind when you see them. Don't think about it, just say the first word you think of. I'm pretty sure this doesn't actually mean anything, it's just cute. Grimwald reaches below your viewing area and picks up a sheaf of placards. Ready to begin? He asks. Ja. I don't know the word ja. Yes. Okay, here's the first one, he says, holding up a card to your visual unit. I don't know, folks, what could we say? We could say it looks like a man. We could say it looks like a series of arrows pointing in different directions. We could say it looks like female genitals. These are all traditional responses. Let's say it looks like squiggles. Grimwald nods knowingly, mumbles under his breath, and makes a note in his pad. Okay, here's the next one, he says, holding up a card to your visual unit. Looks like female genitals, but let's say squiggles. Okay, here's the next one. Does the same thing. Let's say the same thing. Okay, here's the next one. Squiggles. So that one kind of looks like... To me, that kind of looks like it's a one-eyed alien, like with like bunny ears or something, but let's say squiggles. And here's the final one, or maybe it's just the next one. I don't know how one of these are going to stop. Grimwald makes a final notation in his notebook. Thanks, PRISM. He picks up all the placards and leaves the room along with Perlman. Damn it, Perlman! Why did you leave? Perlman, we're waiting to talk to you. This is the most frustrating part of the game for me. Not being able to get Perlman when you need him. You have no way of summoning him. Mako. This is the access area where maintenance workers can service the machinery that makes up the bulk of your physical presence. The room is immaculately clean and well lit. As you swivel your receptors, you can see the air conditioning unit that cools your processors, the library unit, several rows of memory banks, a neatly organized bin of spare parts, and vents noisily sucking away the xenon fumes produced by the machinery. Maybe this is the time to actually enter library mode. I think in the final act of the game we have to actually communicate with the other computers to solve the handful of puzzles the game actually has. And now I feel like trying to find out how to do that in advance. Especially because I can't figure out where Perlman is so that he can look at our recording buffer and we can get back to the game. So next, open. HVAC controller, read. Shut off cooling for alpha sector, start ventilation in gamma sector, turn on heating to all sectors. Whoa, what the? Oh, sorry. Scared myself there. I thought I'd wrecked my BIOS somehow. Because it's like giving me some serious DOS error sounds. HVAC controller status. Well, how do I talk to the HVAC controller then? Do I have to go to the Mako to do that? Enter communications mode. That's what it is. There's a communications mode, I think. You're already in communication mode. Oh. Where is HVAC controller? Beats me. I hate you, game. Enter library mode. PRISM interfaces. Open. The HVAC controller is a simple computer which activates and deactivates the heating, ventilating, and cooling systems of the PRISM complex. The complex is divided into 4 independent sectors, and the controller can be instructed to shut off or turn on the systems in any of them. HVAC controller status orders the device to give a report on the systems by sector. End of file. Yeah, but I don't know where to go to talk to the thing, or if I have to go to a location to talk to it at all. List modes. Oh, shoot. I wonder, I had the Invisiclues, I don't think I have the Invisiclues open anywhere. Well, here's a sneak peek inside my SkyDrive, which you really shouldn't be having, but I don't think there's anything in there. I'll have to go back and check if there's anything I'm going to need to remove. Like there's info on my username and stuff that I don't want public. People, I think, snicker every time I do a visual edit and put up a thing and remove stuff, and they think, oh, we found his porn stash. Now, generally, it just means that something popped up or like my actual. I haven't been giving out my name or my email, my personal email. People want to communicate with me on Let's Play basis. They can use my YouTube account, but yeah, that's generally the reason. As you can see, I've been through all this stuff, so yeah. Sorry if I spoiled the game completely, but I was just so confused about how the game is supposed to be played that I did a lot of reading to figure out what's going on. But there's an interface mode, and that's probably what we have to mess with. You're now in interface mode. Do you want to see a list of active ports? Yes. Simulation controller, HVAC controller, janitorial controller, IRS auditing system. Auditing system status. Returns filed during the previous fiscal year, 214 million. Audits ordered during the previous fiscal year, 6 million. Audits completed during the last fiscal year. Current auditing percentage 3. Okay. HVAC controller status. Alpha, beta, gamma, and delta. Heating is on, cooling is off, ventilation is on. Alpha sectors, living quarters, cafeterias, staff lounges. Beta sectors, offices. Gamma sectors, control center, conference rooms. Delta sectors, maintenance core, and storage areas. Let's save, and just for fun. HVAC controller, turn off cooling in gamma sector. See if we can piss him off and make him come talk to us. Already off. Oh, cooling's off. I forget, there is a shortcut to retype the last command, so you can just change one word, but I don't remember what it was. Heating in gamma sector. Affirmative, heating for gamma sector is now off. Let's see if that makes anyone do anything. Enter communications mode. ZZ. Message begins coming over the message line. Perlman to Prism, private line, no storage. Prism, you shouldn't be messing with the settings in interface mode. I'll assume you did this through ignorance, but please don't do it again. Yeah, apparently if you keep messing with this... Oh, we just saved! So I'm curious as to what happens if you keep messing with them. HVAC controller, turn off heating in alpha sector. HVAC controller, turn off ventilation in alpha sector. HVAC controller, just keep messing with these bums. Turn off heating in, what was it? Oh, what was the, was it Baker or Beta? Apparently it's Beta. Turn off ventilation in, let these meat puppets sweat for a while. Off heating in gamma sector. HVAC controller, turn off ventilation in gamma sector. HVAC controller, turn off heating in delta sector. This must be very interesting if you listen to HVAC controller, turn off ventilation in delta sector. HVAC controller status. Everything's shut off. Let those meat puppets sit for a while. Auditing controller. Raise status. Make sure that it's the right. Yeah, I don't know what the list ports. Auditing system. Change audit percentage to 100%. No. Auditing system status. Audit percentage 3. Auditing system change percentage to 100. Auditing percentage change to 100. Auditing system status. Audits ordered during the current fiscal year 214 million. Yeah, that's going to be difficult. List ports. I'm thinking that eventually they will shut me off for being a nuisance, and I'm just curious how long it takes. That I think I remember reading in the hint book that you can be turned off. Janitorial controller status. Yeah, I don't really remember what you can do with that. Enter library mode. Next, next, next. Open. Next, next, next. Read. You can change the times for stuff, but it doesn't look like you can cancel janitorial service, so I'm not really sure what the point is. What would be the point of messing with it? And you can change rush hour times, but there's always going to be a rush hour, it looks like. You've entered communications mode. Okay. P off. Dr. Perlman is sitting at his desk, reading through stacks of papers. Perlman. Hot enough for you? Perlman. Look at recordings. Perlman looks intrigued. You found something interesting, eh? Yeah. Enter interface mode. I don't think they seem to have noticed or cared that I shut everything off. HVAC controller status. HVAC controller, comma, status. Everything's still turned off. Communications mode. Enter communication mode. Let's go to the PPCC and see if everyone's like sweaty and disgusting. Oh, private messaging coming over the line. Perlman to PRISM, private line, no storage. PRISM, I'm very upset, very disappointed. Why did you change the settings interface mode again? Per project regulations, I have no choice but to shut down your conscious level processors while we reevaluate your psychological makeup. I don't know what else to say. You feel your senses beginning to ebb. Well, that's kind of anticlimactic. I figured there'd be a little bit more to it than that, but we are now in interface mode. We have interfaced. Computer, elevate access. Alright, let's HVAC controller status. Okay. One of the things I'm grappling with, folks, is that I did read part of the solution for the final puzzle of the game, and I'm trying to figure out how you're supposed to figure it out for yourself. It does involve messing around with these settings, but I haven't actually come across information that would tell you. HVAC. I haven't come across anything where it would actually tell you plan data, learn directories. You can shut off, you can start, you can turn on heating to all sectors. Oh, you can turn on. I could have turned off heating to all sectors. Exit. We go to the Mako and we look. It says something about sucking away xeron fumes produced by machinery. I don't know anything about xeron. Do you guys know what xeron is? I don't know. Perlman enters with the secretary, Allison Price, who asks, "Need me for anything else tonight?" Perlman, grinning, responds, "Not unless you've decided to dump that unfairly handsome husband of yours." She looks exasperated with the dolphins in an old joke. "Good night, Doc. Don't stay too late." Yeah, we already heard this. Perlman, what is xeron? Huh. Wasn't that just on screen? Oh, wait. Oh, well. Perlman, look at recordings. He recorded something interesting, eh? Awesome. Let's wait. It's been a couple hours, and he comes back. Perlman to PRISM, private line, no storage. Several of us are just finished viewing the record buffer, record buffer, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So now he's looked at our recordings again. We're getting ready to go back into the simulation where the actual fun of the game is, and the video is almost over. Perlman looks up. "PRISM, several of my colleagues and I have finished viewing the recordings you made, and everyone agreed the recordings from 2051 are intriguing. However, everyone also agreed that there weren't enough recordings from other years to show any sort of significant pattern." So yeah, he wants us to look at more stuff from 2061. So enter simulation. Aqua 22. Aqua 22 in my little code thingy that Jim Lyle, however he pronounces his name, apologies sir, provided. That's 96. That is the hint book, which I shouldn't even have acknowledged I've been using, but I did use it just to figure out what the hell's going on, basically. 30 years in the future. Alright, let's go 30 years in the future. Oh, never mind, we were already in 30 years in the future. Okay, so, what can we do? We already went to our apartment, and stuff's pretty bad. We are at Southwayan River. What if we go to I'm trying to remember where the I think the train station location in 2051, which is what this map is based on, I think becomes the place where there's a church of whatever those guys were called. The ones that have the satellite that they think is like an ear with messages from God. So let's go to visit that church. You can enter the Rockwell Mall, an entrance to a tube station. Well, entering the tube stations used to be useful to us. Let's wait for people to begin boarding and debarking. Board. Red tube car. This is a typical tube car, grimy and covered with layers of graffiti. Okay, record on. Z, record off. Now we've been in a tube station thingy again. Get out. Up. One of the big problems with these games is that you lose the patience to actually read all the text, and you can miss stuff sometimes. So anyway, the Skybus terminal, built long ago by government funds, looks run down. This is totally a game about like a guy who hates Ron Paul, even though Ron Paul wasn't really known at this point. But yeah, this game is clearly, it's like, built by government funds is now falling apart. He's not into the idea of we need to have no government spending on stuff. Down, tube station. Up. How do we get out of here? Southeast. Main and Kennedy. Building the fifth tallest building in the world. It used to be the sixth tallest building in the world. Now it's the fifth, I think. The high-rise building on the southeast corner is a Silicort building, a tall office tower from this intersection. Main Street is east and west. Don't see anything huge changing there, but we're on Main and Kennedy. So let's try going to east and then northeast. Should take us to the Church of Crazy Dudes. Massive walls of Hyman Village, or we can go into Hyman Village. And a healthcare facility on the northeast. That's another place where there could be some fun stuff going on. This one superb medical facility has fallen apart in hard times as its wealthy numbers have abandoned it in favor of better facilities, and the remaining poorer members were unable to maintain the previous levels of healthcare. Let's go southwest and then east. Main and Church. Oh. I thought we could get into Hyman Village. No, we needed to go west and southeast for that. I'm going to run out of... The oldest of the indoor cities looks typically well-maintained. The only lighting in the lobby comes from the tall entrance doors to the east, west, and northwest. Alright, we're wasting record buffer here. Okay, so now we're on Midland River. A graceful structure of marble and glass bearing the black radar dish symbol of the church. The Alley Building, headquarters of the American Life Insurance Group, and a fairly typical 21st century skyscraper. Let's record on and go northeast into that church lobby. The regional central headquarters of the church is an architectural splendor. Light spills down from above, giving the illusion that the countenance of God is gazing down upon a visitor in full force and fury. Huge image radar dish. And there's a pamphlet. I don't know if it's changed any. Ever since the brave crusade... Okay, now we're reading the pamphlet. Hear and obey the word of God. Ever since the brave crusade of the holy prophet Vincent against the evil sinners of the Mount, the priests of the Church of God's Word have been the sacred guardians of God's mouth, passing along his word as sent down from the heavens. The Lord Most High has been growing angry at his flock, angry that there are some who do not heed his word. He is sending a sign, a fiery star that will soon burn in our nighttime skies, to warn us that all created in his image must become brethren of his church. The punishment for not doing so will be swift and cruel, and directed not just against the sinners, but against all of mankind, such that all will suffer for the sins of the few. Oh, dear. Our Father and Creator is demanding, but He is also generous and kind. When the day arrives that all men have joined His church and heed His word, He will bring down upon the earth an epoch of such peace and beauty as the world has not seen since Eden. The choice He gives to us is simple: turn away and suffer, or follow and live to see heaven on earth. Record off. See, this is a problem. Most of the churches in the U.S., the Christian churches, if you're not a Christian, they can be irritating, and I don't understand the idea that they really need to go out and proselytize and evangelize if they think that when the rapture comes that they're going to get out scot-free. I guess it's, in a way, it's very generous of them to try and help others get saved if they really and truly believe that you need to get saved. But this is where it really gets to be a problem, when the idea is that even the people who believe in the church will not be saved unless they do something about those who don't believe in the church. I can see that being a bad scene. Let's go northwest to Bodansky Square and get another look at my desktop. Get another, this is where we used to be able to buy newspapers. This is a large plaza formed at the intersection of Bodansky Boulevard from the east, Center Street from the north-southwest, and River Street from the north and south. There's a car lot on the western side of the square. On the northeastern corner is a restaurant, and the Church of God's Word can be entered to the southeast. Covered stairway leads down the tubes. The street is bustling with lunchtime crowds. I thought this is where we got a newspaper before. Maybe there just aren't newspapers anymore. Sorry, boo-boo. What could we do real quick before we end the video? Go watch a movie. Let's go watch a movie. We need to go east, and then I think northwest would do it. East, boom. Standing on the south side of Bodansky Boulevard is a boarded-up railroad museum. The streets run east towards the park and west towards the square. North of here is a car lot, and northwest is a huge cinema complex. Two policemen across the street are savagely beating a dark-skinned youth. A hot dog peddler catches their attention as they begin bullying some food, and the youth buying some food, and the youth slinks away. Well, I'm sorry I missed that. I didn't know that when I entered this screen, two policemen were going to be savagely beating a dark-skinned youth. Northwest Cinema. The downtown Cinema Quad is a seedy 4-theater movie complex. A marquee above the ticket window announces the current features. Alright, let's buy a ticket. I guess it's seedy. I don't think it used to be seedy. I only have $185 now. Enter theater. The user takes your ticket, and you step into the darkened theater and find an empty seat. You begin watching more of anything, and you quickly find yourself being aroused by the skillfully filmed and edited sex scenes. Then, during a slow moment, you begin to feel ashamed and guilty, and after about 15 minutes, you decide you've seen enough and head out to the lobby. Wow. Record buffer is half off. Well, let's turn record off. And go southeast, and let's go north. Sky Car Lot, Symphony Hall. This is the home of the Rockville Symphony Orchestra. Their exits southeast, southwest, and north. Well, the symphony's still going. Oh no, symphony entrance, okay. Base gate. Record. Northwest. The gate is closed. A guard threateningly informs you that non-military personnel are not allowed beyond this point. Record off. Well, hold on. Save. Record on. Insult guard? I don't know the word insult. Guard. Please. There was no verb in that sentence. Guard. Hello. Can I help you? Open gate. Only the guard is guard. Open gate. Can I help you? Okay, he's not going to be able to interact with us properly. But we're at the end of the video anyway, so let's call it a video here. Let me quick check and see if my... no, I still got a few minutes. I'm trying to record... trying to download Legend of Dragoon so that I can watch that offline, but that does take some doing. I'm over here where I'm at right now. Anyway, folks, we're going to call that a video, even though we spent a lot of time not getting a whole lot done. When we come back, we'll fill the second half of our recording buffer and see if we provide enough information to satisfy our boss. The real problem is that you wander into scenes like two policemen savagely beating a dark-skinned youth, and you don't have your recorder going in time. But hopefully we'll be able to sort that out next time. This is Mysterious JG. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. And remember, if the government doesn't spend funds building Skybus terminals, racist police will beat dark-skinned youths to death. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.